There we go, boss. Boss, it's an honor and a privilege. Thank you so much for joining me for a conversation.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, again, like I said, I've been super excited for this. We don't script shit. It just whatever happens. Whatever happens, happens, right? We can talk about my cat for an hour. Um,
Oh, don't get me started on cats because
are
I
you a
will
crazy cat
go.
lady too?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, we're gonna get along just fine.
Do you have any cats right now?
Have you got some?
Yeah, well, they're in Finland, but I have two
Oh,
and they're the best. Not like
man,
I'm biased at all.
I fucking love animals so much, man. It gets to the line of obsession, you know what I mean? I kind of like
Yeah.
power off any humans that I'm with, and we're just like, oh my God, it's a fucking dog or a cat
I
or
need to touch it.
ah, just like rolling around on the street with it. It's like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
As
But
you should.
don't mind me, guys. I'm just having my moment,
Yeah.
mate. So, what do you do? Tell me about it.
So I post on social media and I currently do all things related to body neutrality, body acceptance, and some aspect of mental health, and just normalizing the human body because society made us insecure about random things for no reason.
Wow, let's unravel it, man. Because I love
Yes.
with this thing, I like offering different perspectives, right? And
Yeah.
in terms of everything in the world, there's a lot going on, and I'm
Yeah.
blonde from Manchester, and that means usually I don't know a lot of things. I'm not the most smart of individuals, pardon the pun of it, expressing that. So it's like, okay, well, there's a lot of voices out there, and unfortunately, those voices don't get a chance to be heard. You know what I mean? So it's like, great,
Yeah.
fucking, how am I supposed to know? I'm not. Tell me about it.
Yeah, exactly. You aren't born with this information, so how can you know everything in the world? You cannot.
For sure. And I'm not a lady. So tell me about it. I love hearing the
Yeah.
other side. There's always freaking three sides to the coin, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like I feel like I mean obviously is for like all genders
Mm.
basically, but I think mine is obviously more targeted towards women because I am a woman. So like I've done a few posts with men and have asked like my audience to send in photos of themselves for a post and that was really fun. It went well, but like um it was crazy to see the amount of backlash and negativity that other men had to say about that post. And they were just like saying things like, oh, but you'd never like date a guy who looks like that, or like just things like that. And I was just like,
Mm.
you don't know anything about my dating life. Like, why are you making all these assumptions? And yeah, and it was just really weird. Like, all the guys were like, go gym, bro. Like,
Mm.
don't be like this, go gym, don't be lazy. And I'm just like, you're making an assumption about these people's lives just by looking at like one picture of them. And that's ridiculous. But I mean, I understand like obviously it stems from like a place of insecurity or like so many things, any kind of like trauma of like past experiences of being exposed to like advertisements and stuff. Cause men get it too, like where they see advertisements of like chiseled bodies and being like glorifying that and not really giving like the space for all types of bodies as well. But I feel like, yes, it is starting to like, we're starting to see more diversity in bodies. But I feel like, especially with men, there's still kind of like that, still quite rigid, and you don't see as much, um, I guess, attention to it as you do with women's bodies and body acceptance and body positivity and all of that. Yeah.
Why do you think you don't see as much?
I don't know. I think like personally, this is just my perception of the world. But I feel like women's like the beauty industry for women that's targeted at women is a lot more monetizable and kind of like easier to create all of these different like aspects to be insecure about. Like for example, apparently shaving razors only became a thing like a few decades ago. And I didn't know that. I was like, oh, I thought we were always just shaving, but I don't know. Sorry, tangent. Anyway, um, but yeah, it is. That's a really good question because, yeah, that's just my perspective that I feel like because the beauty industry towards women is a lot more bigger and profitable,
Mm.
that that's why there's so much focus on it. And then now that because there's always been so much focus on it, now people are kind of like, calling it out on like different social media platforms and like, like other people who do what I do as well, and kind of just being like, well, this is kind of bullshit. Yeah. And then I feel like because there's so many content creators and more people are kind of like seeing that, and then it just kind of stays in the circle of women. Like I do know a few men who do similar things about body acceptance and things like that, and like mental health and focusing on that as well. But yeah, I don't know why there is so many women doing it and like the main focus is there. Or
It's
maybe it's just like what I see online is targeted to me, and maybe I just haven't found more people who are men.
Yeah, I mean that is a great point. Obviously algorithms and all that. Like I'm going to leave that
Yeah.
to someone a little bit cleverer than I am to figure that one
Same.
out. I'm like, no thanks, guys. I'm going to just lift weights, and talk shit for a living. But it's undeniable that body positivity and mental health is connected. That's undeniable. Like if
Yeah.
you deny that, your head's so far in the sand, you're probably brushing your own teeth with your ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in offering a perspective on the dudes, I think it just links to quote unquote man up or shut up and just get the job done or whatever line you want to use. It all tries to do
Yeah.
the same thing of like shut the fuck up and just work, right? And
Yeah.
essentially, I think that's probably where it comes from. It was like, oh well, guys, I could probably see an issue here. I was like, well, nobody wants to hear it. Okay, back to work.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's got something to do with it. Obviously, I don't know. Um, I can speak personally, like we can just offer two different perspectives here, but I don't know as a blanket statement, and I wouldn't want to draw one. But I
Yeah.
think
I
social
think
media has done a great job, right? Because it gives people a little bit of a voice, which is can be skewed. You hear
yeah.
so much shouting going on, you're like, what the fuck is going on? But then it
Yeah.
can be a great thing as well. So it's this weird balance, and I think we have to find some sort of a equilibrium. It's like, okay, there's times to shout from the rooftops and kind of say our thing, and then there's times to also just be like, I'm not even going to concentrate on this, guys. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
let people wean themselves out.
Yeah. I mean, it's always like kind of like choose your battles in this moment because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you had a say about everything and like went in and talked or tried to explain your point of view every time, be pretty exhausted.
Oh,
So
fuck, honestly. And I think people need to realize they do have the right to have no opinion on something.
yeah, exactly.
You
That's
know,
fine sometimes.
that's okay, guys. Your life doesn't
Yeah,
depend on this one frigging thing. It's
literally.
like, Alex, what's your opinion on female positivity? I was like, what the fuck? Like, I got no, ask them, not me.
Yeah,
Don't ask me.
yeah,
I got no opinion on it. Like,
exactly.
let's figure it out. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not the
Yeah, I
right
feel
guy to
like
talk about it.
especially in those cases where it's like you don't have like the personal experience of living life through that like lens. So let other people speak up and then
Yeah,
hear their perspectives and then formulate your own perspective on it after educating yourself.
100%. But we just like to create an answer and just throw it out there and be like, oh,
Oh
I kind
yeah.
of know all things. Fuck these
Mm.
people. You're like, what? What's
Yeah.
the whole thing? I'm like, walk a mile in their shoes, bro. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
come on, man. Yes, okay, listen to their side and be able to offer an alternative if it's skewed towards something that then you can then empathize with or have experience in, right? Like a
Yeah.
lot of the time, I'm like, okay, well, I hear your point. I get it. Can I offer a different perspective? Yeah, okay, this is what it's like on this side of the coin, an English side, a northern side, or bloody whatever, blonde, whatever quote unquote categories we like to throw ourselves in, which I freaking hate in my opinion. Like I don't get it, probably because I'm too blonde, but it's just like, guys, we're all just kind of humans here. Like we're all kind of
Yeah,
just trying to figure this thing out, cause
literally, we're just
progress,
on a
and
rock.
we're on a rock. Come on, which
We're
is
on a
on
rock.
fire
Yeah.
with a lot of water on it. It doesn't make much sense.
No.
And it's still on fire. It's like,
Bro,
guys,
what is life?
oh, we're getting into it.
Yeah. It's like, okay, cool, guys. We're gonna unpack life in this podcast.
But what is life?
Um, oh, vibing. I don't know.
I'm figuring out.
Yeah, literally every day I'm just like, or like, do you get those like existential moments where you're just like, what the fuck is happening?
Dude, I get it
And
every
then,
day.
yeah. And then just thinking about the whole fact, like on a rock, going through space, allegedly,
Yeah,
who knows?
yeah. We're just a projection of whatever in the universe, right? And you're like, wait, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I'm a projection. What am I like? If
What
I if
am
I
I?
slap myself, I can feel it. I don't think I'm a projection, guys.
Are we in a simulation?
Oh, that's when you lose me. I'm like,
Yeah.
guys, I barely
There's
understand the Matrix. Come on, man. Fucking, let's not do this now.
it's like I don't need to have a moment today. I just want to exist and drink my
Yeah,
coffee.
too much coffee. But that's me every day. I'll think about those types of shit. I'm like a poet too, right? So I kind of one of those weird people that will cry into a notebook and write some things down, but then will also get up and then throw weights around in a gym like this weird bipolar individual, which I'm not, but like I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but I guess you've got to have some sort of balance, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Coping mechanisms.
100%. I think we need something inside of the gym and we need something outside of the gym. Something physical and something non-physical, right?
Yeah,
Of like
for
move your
sure.
body, man. Swim,
Yeah.
aqua aerobics, yoga, I don't
Yeah.
know, whatever it is, like, and then do something for the upstairs only. You have to be
Brain.
able to segment it a little bit. Like we can't just solely rely on something physical. That's when you
Yeah,
get the
exactly.
stereotypical jock. All
Yes.
right, bro. You're like,
Let's go to the
fuck.
gym. No, I feel like I was like that before I started posting all the body acceptance stuff because I was very much way too into the gym and kind of like got like I had an eating disorder, but it wasn't like it was only a little bit of an eating disorder. I can't just no. Every time I say that, I'm just like, Sarah, shut up. It was what it was.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I just like to downplay it because I'm like, oh, it wasn't that bad. But anyway, tangents. Anyway, yes, cool. Yeah. So before I started doing the whole body acceptance thing, I used to be like a fitness account and would just post about my abs and my workouts and how long I worked out for and like would just like brag about it. And then yeah, realized I was being very unhealthy by like working out for like 2+ hours, 6 days a week, sometimes 2 times a day. And I would just be like, oh, but like I'm seeing progress. And the way that going to the gym has been advertised to me or like shown to me, it's just like, oh, it doesn't matter how much rest you get or anything like that. It's just like go hard and then get the results and look different. And that's all that matters. And then I think going through that myself and like realizing like, no, that's like completely the wrong way to go about this because I was just not taking it as like a coping mechanism as I do now. Like now I work out for my brain, not to look a certain way. So yeah, that was a lot of stuff to just unpack and realize kind of by myself because I wasn't actually going to therapy in that moment. So yeah, wild realizations.
Yeah, I guess with everything, it's the implementation of it, right? Or most things, it's the implementation of it. Like people can just throw themselves headfirst into a brick wall, into the gym environment, right? And you're like, guys, probably not the greatest of ideas. Maybe we need
Yeah.
to backtrack this up a little bit, like go in the gym and you get someone coming in, you're like, okay, yeah, I like this. Coach, I'm gonna see you 6 days a week. You're like,
Yeah.
dude, like the trolley up
Yeah.
here, man. Like
Like, be chill about it.
you've been sedentary for the past 25 years. What do you mean you're going to be in here 6 days a week? I'm going to get sick of your face. No, I want to see you three tops. You know what I mean? And then you need to figure out your shit outside of the gym.
Yeah.
Fucking eat well, sleep well, get your stress down, socialize, whatever you want to do, right? Because it's a lifestyle. It's supposed to
Yes.
add to your life, not become your life. If you're an athlete, fine,
Exactly.
that's a different story.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we can have that conversation. I've been that myself. It's going to be a shit time a lot of the time. Why? Because your body's going to be fucking hurting. Okay,
Yeah.
that's great. But like, if you just want to be a half decent, half healthy individual, it's like, we probably don't need to live in a gym, guys.
No.
Do you make your money this way? No. Okay, go away.
Yeah. Just, this is a place to have a good time,
Yeah,
not stress
stress
and
out.
cry. Yeah, I feel like because you said figure out like the best way to move your body. Like do something you like. Don't force
Mm,
yourself to like do cardio and like go and I don't know, run like 10 kilometers every day. If you
mm,
hate it, don't do that.
mm. Yeah, that's true. Like, it's the first thing I say to everyone, right? Because I'll coach some CrossFit, and they say, what is it like? And I'm like, I think it's phenomenal. I think it's for everybody. But the first question I'll ask is, do you enjoy it? And if the answer is no, I say, go away.
Yeah.
Go somewhere else, man. Don't be here
Yeah,
then.
find something else.
Like, because it's an expensive hobby for something that you're not going to enjoy. Go.
Yeah.
This is a de-stress, man. We need to, as like people within the industry, i.e. myself, right? I always usually accountability 101's kind of pointing back at me. Don't point fingers, point thumbs. Is You got to understand that it's a de-stressor, not an add stressor. And
Yeah.
it's for people's heads too, man. Like, we have to be able to acknowledge this rather than just like, oh, physically they're great. It's like, no, man, like, we gotta, this thing upstairs, it's connected by a neck, like, we should know
Yeah.
this anatomy 101.
Yes.
So I mean, that's the whole reason why this thing is a thing, this podcast thing. Too many people coming up to me is like, I'm gonna kill myself. You're like, whoa, hold on a minute.
Wait a minute.
Like, I teach you how to air squat and throw kettlebells above your head. What do you mean? And
Yeah.
it's like, how the fuck do we navigate this?
Mm,
And yeah, we're still here trying to figure
nice.
that out.
You're
I don't know,
just
guys.
like, how did I get here?
I
Not
don't
gonna
know,
question
man.
it. Just go with the flow.
I don't know how I get most places.
Same.
It's like, I don't know how I've not been taken out one of these times where a saber tooth tiger has just been like, you know what, this one's had its time.
Bye.
Like, mental health, bit of
Yes.
a, I want to say, buzzword as of now. Everyone kind of throws it out as they
Yes.
should, but they need to be careful, right?
Yeah.
Why'd you get into it?
So in university, I studied psychology, very passionate about psychology, love psychology. And yeah, I was like really good at it in uni. So I just continued it. And then yeah, I feel like I just learned so much through those classes and all of that. And then having a lot of personal experience with like a lot of mental health issues. um, yeah, I feel like I just have a lot of like decent life advice for other people who are like struggling if they need it or want it. And also like having an educational background in it helps because I can actually kind of understand what's going on up here and like unpacking it with myself. And yeah, I don't know, just really like just talking to people about mental health as well, and like just like having one-on-one like deep conversations about like how are you actually doing, like are you good? But obviously you can't just like go up to anyone and be like how's your mental health.
You don't do
And
that.
just I want to, but
I do it in coffee shops sometimes. Like it gets awkward sometimes, like because not many people sound like me, especially when I leave home. You know what I mean? How you doing,
Hmm.
mate? You all right? Like, how's
Yeah,
things?
yeah,
How's our kid? Like, no, no one's gonna be talking like that,
yeah.
right? But then I'll just kind of look at them and like, no, but how you doing? Like, yeah, I'm all right. And I just kind of stare into their soul. You know what I mean? I was like,
How are you actually
don't
doing?
bullshit me.
And just start crying.
You got you got to do it sometimes, or crack a joke or
Yeah.
something. You know,
Yeah.
because a comedy drops barriers, and then
Yeah.
people usually maybe the second, third, or 27th encounter with them, do you get to the real thing, right? The truth.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're missing these days, right? A little bit of a warm encounter rather than just like a all right,
Yeah.
or
So true.
not even a hello. I'm like, holy
Yeah.
shit, guys,
What
come on.
happened to hello? How are you doing?
Hey, just three letters, guys. Come on, just give me three
Yeah.
letters. Just wave at me. I don't care. Like fucking hell, something.
Just some common human decency.
We've lost it.
Yeah. I feel like social media has a lot to do with that as
Yeah, well,
well.
again,
Yeah.
that's forces I don't understand. I just talk shit for a living, man. I don't really know much else. You know,
It's good though.
I just talk shit. But the way I usually think is, okay, we got an issue, and it can be projected to go that way, right? And all the way, and it can get obviously worse and worse and worse. And that's not the way that we want to go, obviously. And you're like, all right, sound. So we found a stream. We need to be able to find the source of said stream, so then we can help fix it, right? So I'm usually
Yeah.
the type of person, or that inquisitive type of person, like why? Like I want to
Yeah.
understand why, and then how, and then what do we do, right?
Yeah.
So my question would be, to start off with. So if we were just gonna, we've got a blank slate on
Yes.
the terms of body positivity and mental health, and then being interconnected, right? If we have a
Hmm.
blank slate, we've not done no work to get there. How do we start? Where do we start? What do we do? Sarah, tell me.
Okay, so if you were like someone coming up to me being like, help, I don't know how to start like accepting myself or like working on my mental health.
For sure, but like the whole world,
Okay.
because we've all got
Ooh.
we've all got jobs to do.
Well, if the whole world came up to me, I'd be a bit overwhelmed. Hello.
Yeah, maybe not
Like,
at once. You're like, what the
guys.
fuck?
Yeah, like
How did you
chill.
find out where I lived?
First question. No, I mean, it's so difficult to like give a generalized answer because it really depends on so many different like aspects of like what has happened in your past to like make you think this way. But if yeah, there's like so many little personal details that always will come to play and affect how you view the world, and like what things are specifically bothering you about like, first of all, like with body acceptance, like how are you viewing like how you would want to be accepting of yourself, if that makes sense. Like, because sometimes for me at least, like when I first started doing this, I was kind of just like, oh, I'll never get to that point of like being content with myself or like with my appearance. And obviously when you look at it like from that perspective, like far away, like, oh yeah, I can't wait till I'm there. um yeah, it just takes like baby steps and kind of realizing like every day will be different, and you can't just all of a sudden think you're going to love yourself and your body in like a year or so, because it's an ongoing process. And everyone has hard days and emotional days, and that is valid. And I feel like people need to also realize that it is completely normal and human to have those days. And also just like mental health wise, I feel like because I hit like a massive rock bottom at the end of last year. No, what year are we in? 2023. Nice. So I hit like rock bottom in December of like 2021 and then used all of last year to just start fresh with my brain and coping mechanisms and stuff like that. So I think that's like the advice I would give other people as well, to find hobbies that you actually like doing that bring you enjoyment and happiness. Because I didn't have any actual hobbies. Like when people ask me, like, oh, what do you like doing? I was just like, I like watching Netflix. And I was like, that's like, sure, it's a hobby, but it's not like I can't be doing that, like, and being like, I love my hobby, my passion is Netflix. Um, so I started like figuring out like, yeah, hobbies, what I like doing, and really just sitting down and like taking a moment to be like, who are you? What coping mechanisms do you need? And I'm very much of like, I love writing and just word vomiting into diary. So I was like, cool, love journaling. And journaling has always been like a little stable thing that I can go and look back on and like visually see my progress through words and stuff. And I think that's so cool. um, and also for me personally, I love meditating, but that's because my brain's just it never shuts up. So I think also unpacking each of like your coping mechanisms and realizing that you're not always going to be able to cope through them as well, especially with like meditation. A lot of people are like, oh, it's not for me, I can't do that, and then kind of just don't really give it like a go. And that was me as well. And then I think after like a few months I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. And yeah, fell in love with it. So it's also a nice way to calm the brain. So yeah, I think a long-winded answer, but it would be to like find hobbies and coping mechanisms, coping skills. And ooh, another thing, well, always dependent once again, is to just like take a look at the people who are around you the most and who you interact with the most and see if they kind of like align with your brain. Because if you have people around you that are constantly being like, oh, that's like impossible, you'll never be able to do that, then it like internalizes into your brain and then you start thinking that as well. And yeah, some people are just shitty and we don't realize it. So it's always good to just take a minute and like kind of try and remove like your biases of someone. Like, yes, you might love them so much and they are like an amazing person, but if you're realizing like every time you hang out with them afterwards you're feeling drained and like sad or like empty, it's kind of like worth taking a step back and evaluating whether you want to keep those people in your lives. But yeah, yeah.
I got three questions.
Cool.
What's the greatest piece of life advice you've ever received?
Oh my god. Fuck.
Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot.
No, like that that is a question that I do ask myself sometimes though, because I don't know, like I want to say something so simple like just go with the flow,
Mm.
because like it's just like life's not that serious. I don't know. Like I feel like my brain always makes everything much more serious and like deep and like just overthinking. So when I just go with the flow and chill, yeah,
Yeah,
go with the flow and chill. That's my
we're not getting out of this thing alive, right? Don't take it too seriously.
yeah, exactly. We all die, so
Yeah, okay,
vibe while you can.
whatever.
What's your best life advice you've received?
The only constant in life is change.
Ooh, okay. Yes, I do
Mm.
like that one.
Used to fight against change a lot.
Mm,
Used to freak me out. It was a big fear of mine. And yeah, kind of
Nice.
learned to, okay, I'll just
Was
do
there
my
like a
thing anyway.
moment where you realized to not fight it, or was it kind of just like a ongoing in process thing where you're just like, okay, I see this again. It's come up where like I shouldn't be fighting this in like several instances, or was it like just one moment?
Nah, it was several. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was it was more of a I'm stubborn, I'm blonde, and I'm northern. You know what I mean? It takes me a while. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it was more of a Alex, like everything you set out to do has never been achieved. You always fall short or something changes and you end up somewhere else, right? And then it's
Yeah.
like, okay, now evaluate the journey that you've been on from where you were to where you are now, even taking out those no's and those kind of quote unquote failures, right? And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, that's still a lot of progress. It's like, yeah, everything's changing, man. Like you got to be okay with this now. You know, shoot for the moon and in the stars and all that shit.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta get used to it. Pocket things change.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes
Yeah.
things just change. What's
That
the
is, yeah.
what's the worst piece of life advice you ever received?
Oh, um, ooh, um, like sitting down and planning a 10-year plan. I
Oof.
don't, I'm like, why? Because like you said, everything changes all the time. Like you can't, yeah. Because I know some people who have like really detailedly planned out 10-year plans, and I'm like, okay, well, if you're not married by then the age of 27, what are you gonna do? Like things like that. I'm just like, yeah.
I can't relate to those people, man. I hope they're happy. I wish them all the luck in
Yeah.
the world. I hope they never have to deal with any like bullshit, but fuck that sideways. I can't do it, man. It's not for me.
Yeah. What is the worst life advice you've received?
Be realistic.
Oh, yeah.
What's realistic about any of this shit? Nothing.
Literally.
Come
Be
on.
realistic. We're on a rock.
12,000 miles from home. I should
Being
never have left.
realistic.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, this isn't realistic.
Yeah.
Um, all right, I got last question. What are the three
Cool.
words you tell your younger self?
Ooh, only three?
Yeah.
Damn. Do I just have like those three words and then I disappear? And she's just there
Yeah,
like,
that's it. You're
what
like
the
a genie in a
fuck?
bottle and you get to say three words. And
Oh
then poof.
shit.
It can be
Okay.
like three individual words. You can make a sentence out of it.
Wow. Um, shit.
Would that be one?
Yeah. Shit, fuck.
You're like, oh, okay. The future's got a lot in store for me.
Why are you swearing at me? Um, wow. Okay, cool. Those are not my words. Like I have sentences, but words.
I'll let you give me a sentence.
Thank you so much.
It's okay.
I said that and I don't have sentences. I don't know. I just want to like hug her and be, ooh, ooh, I know. You'll be okay.
Mm.
Yeah. They would probably be really terrified, being like, why is this random lady hugging me? You'll be okay.
It's
Um,
like I can see the resemblance, but like, what's going on?
yeah, like I feel like because especially through like my teenage years, I was heavily depressed and didn't have good coping skills or anything. And I thought I wouldn't make it past like 20. So, yeah, very deep, dark,
Mm.
sad girl.
Mm.
So, I think just did not like have any hope for myself of having a future or anything like that. So, I think to just have like reassurance from me. No, like, if so, I just wish I took like more life advice seriously when I was that age as well. like in my teen years, because I was just so angsty and sad that I was like, oh, never going to be happy. So I'm not going to listen to your life advice. I'm never going to be okay. And like kind of like romanticized my depression. And that made me kind of stick with it. So, but I definitely feel like if me now showed up was like, you'll be okay, it should be like, cool.
Cheers.
Yeah. It's like, right.
You don't understand. You're like, fuck's sake, here we go again.
It's like, shut up. You're 13. No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, my brain was just developing at that time. So
but lucky enough, still alive and kicking it, kicking
yeah.
ass, carving paths. Like it's inspiring. So I just want to say thank you.
Thank you for
Thanks.
existing.
Come on. I mean, that's the least we can do. You know what I mean? Just get your ass out of bed. Fuck's sake. Go do something.
But I mean, yeah.
I appreciate it so much, man. Like, somebody being able to have an honest conversation with me, I think, like, feel safe enough just to express themselves in real time rather than everything's being already written down. They know their answers all perfectly. I was like, I'm not about that,
Yeah.
man. It bores me. Like, I don't want to see this, like, quote unquote professional or touched up side. Just fucking be real. Like, that's all I'm going to
Yeah.
be. Jesus. And if you don't like it, then, well, walk out the door you came in.
Yeah. Take it or leave it.
Take it or do one. Sarah,
Yes.
I appreciate it so much. We're going to have to do this again sometime.
Yes. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
Thank you. You're always welcome back to talk shit and
Thank you.
put the world to rights.
Awesome.
Right. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye, everybody.